Hello, my name is McKenna, and I'm the Director of Community and Donor Relations for Thinking Huts. It's a fairly common question. Why are some countries better off than others? There are a lot of factors that come into play, of course. The health of the population, the country's level of debt, etc. The answer, according to many, is a lack of education. Developing countries are caught in a loop of being unable to create and sustain education infrastructure, which leads to lower literacy rates, as shown in the graph on the screen, and a lack of gainful employment, which slows the economy and perpetuates poverty. Enter Thinking Huts, a nonprofit organization founded by Maggie Grout when she was 15 and had a serious aha moment. Maggie was adopted from China and never takes her education opportunities for granted, because she knows her life could have taken a very different path. One evening, Maggie was discussing the lack of global education opportunity with her father when she thought, why not 3D print schools? From there, Thinking Huts was born. A short time later, Maggie met Antonio, a professor in Madagascar. He opened her eyes to the daily challenges Malagasy children face. These kids walk an hour or more facing dangerous wildlife and rugged terrain, only for some to never make it to their destination because they took a wrong step while crossing a river or didn't notice a snake in the grasses. This Herculean effort is just so they can get to school, a school that is often collapsing and overcrowded. Maggie was inspired. She had the what, 3D printed schools, and now she had the where, Madagascar. Of course, there are a lot of countries that face the same problems as Madagascar, but the combination of having on-the-ground connections and a clear need made Madagascar the place to go. There's an estimated 22,000 schools needed there. To put that into perspective, we would need to build a school every day for 60 years just to fill that gap. Seems like a pretty daunting challenge, right? Okay, but let's take it back to 3D printing just for a minute. Because of the cutting-edge technology, we're able to build a school in roughly 3 days, compared to the months it would typically take. On top of that, each school will cost about half that of a traditionally built school, roughly the same cost as a Subaru Outback. As for collapsing and overcrowded, our concrete hybrid mixture is twice as durable as brick, and we are utilizing a honeycomb design, so we can build more classrooms to accommodate growth if needed. All of this is made possible by our many incredible partners who have done everything from designing our building, providing solar panels and vertical gardens for the schools, supplying the 3D printer, and even helping us with government regulations from within the Malagasy President's office. So, what does the impact of this kind of project look like? Let's start at square one, the build. We will employ local labor, paying them well over 2 times as much as they would typically be paid, which means funneling money into the impoverished community from the very start. We will also purchase our door, windows, roof, and other required materials locally, giving much needed business to local craftsmen. After the school is built, we begin to impact the children themselves. Many Malagasy children start working at the age of 8, often in unsafe conditions. If they're female, they're in danger of being married off by the time they turn 14. These are often the only options, because there's either no school, or the school is too far away and overcrowded to be considered worthwhile. Not to mention the possibility of being kidnapped during that long and dangerous walk. That is, until a school is built in their community, one that is accessible and safe. Now these children are in school, rather than in mines or marriage beds. As the children get educated, local literacy levels rise, which means better job opportunities open up, and as these children grow up, they're now able to work in safe environments with higher pay. This brings our impact to the wider community, because with more money being brought into the community, the economy begins to grow, which leads to a decrease in food scarcity and an increase in quality of life. Overall, a happier, healthier community. Now, let's take this impact and duplicated in many communities all around Madagascar. Now we aren't only affecting these children and communities, but the entire country. And that's without even considering the technology sharing that comes from 3D printing. Impact on a global scale that lasts generations. Our first build will be this fall in Fianarantsoa, Madagascar. From there, we will analyze what went well and what didn't, improve, and then build 3 more schools in Ibiti, Madagascar. We envision a future where children get to be children, and that starts with a school and their community. So, what are we waiting for? Honestly, funding. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on donations to achieve our mission of increasing global access to education. Our donors make everything possible, and we celebrate them with gifts, galas, letters from the children whose lives they've changed, and even naming rights to schools. Donors are a vital part of our hive, and I'm hoping you'll be willing to join that vital group. Thinking Huts has been noticed and featured by Smithsonian, World Economic Forum, Fast Company, and many more. The world is watching. Join our hive and help us save and change lives. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.